I'm your host, Davida Shinsky, and you're listening to Live Without Limits, Reach Personal Success on a Daily Basis. Our purpose is to help you overcome any limiting you beliefs by discussing topics around psychology, mental health, relationships, and anything that affects your personal growth. Today's presentation is titled What Your Adversity Quotient and How Can It Help You Handle Life Challenges. Great leaders are known for their great qualities, such as an indomitable will, accountability, patience, and the ability to adapt and even thrive in any environment. But as any adult knows, leadership roles don't only apply to politics, nor do they end in the corporate world. Leaders and their leadership qualities are helpful in all walks of life, from the big to the small, serious to frivolous. Hence, these qualities can be honed and developed by everyone and anyone. Sadly, families, schools, and society at large seldom teach people how to be leaders. Sadly, families, schools, and society seldom teach people how to become a leader. Therefore, you need to take a class and learn and understand what makes good leadership qualities. A lot of people grow up being told what to do all their lives, and they suddenly shiver and break when they face real life problems and adversities because no one is telling them what to do anymore. The problem is, while families, schools, and society at large might be great at helping people develop their intelligence quotient or their IQ, social quotients, or SQ, as well as emotional quotient or EQ, they do a poor job of developing their adversity quotient or AQ. And without or lack of this important quotient, the rest will be insufficient in handling life's challenges. So, what are the four types of quotients? In case you're wondering what these types of quotients mean, the intelligence quotient, a measure of the person's comprehensive ability to handle information, the ability to solve math problems, memorize facts, and recall subject matter when needed. Emotional quotient, the measure of a person's ability to maintain or be at peace with others. It may involve matters as mundane as keeping to time, being responsive in conversations, being humble, genuine, and considerate of others, yet it has far reaching effects. Social quotient, the measure of a person's ability to connect, make friends, and build a network of friends, as well as the ability to maintain it for years or decades to come. The larger and stronger the network, the more a person is considered to have a high social quotient, adversity quotient, according to Paul G. Stokes in his book, Adversity Quotient, Turning Obstacles into Opportunities, is the ability for a person to deal with adversities in his or her life. In other words, the adversity quotient is purely a measure of a person's resilience. Adversity or adaptability quotient is the ability to go through difficulties, pains, disappointments, trauma without losing your mind. What is the adversity quotient and why is it important in your life? Having a low AQ isn't something that can easily be augmented or walked around, as in the case of low social quotient or IQ, as every individual is bound to face challenges at one point or the other in life. This could be the loss of a huge sum of money, a job, a loved one, or some other tragedy. Without high AQ or resilience, sadness, anxiety, depression, and even suicide are more likely. In other words, AQ can help prevent the onset of some mental health problems. There's no denying that adversity is an inescapable part of life. So we should prepare for it. It is true that people who have higher EQ and SQ tend to do better in life than those with low IQ and low EQ and SQ. However, none of these qualities would save a person from the devastating blow of a gut wrenching setback, except a high AQ. But having a high AQ is even more than having a high adversity quotient, has been linked to some very helpful abilities an individual ought to have to succeed in life. Higher adversity quotient indications, according to developmental psychologist Emmy Warner on resilience theory, children who have high AQ also exhibit the following characteristics: high reasoning, the ability to face complex and convoluted problems without backing down. This leads to more success in solving problems, and that builds their self confidence. Emotional pillars, they tend to develop more support systems outside their immediate family. For example, they usually have at least one supportive friend who they can lean on. This means they literally brace themselves for impact and also help others like themselves go through the hard times in a direction. People with high AQ tend to make decisions on their own because they believe they're in charge of their fate. They avoid the victim mindset while embracing the victor mindset. Sociability, they, for most times, show a higher capacity to interact with others well and engage in social activities without feeling threatened or worried. Autonomy, people with high AQ can accomplish tasks alone without receiving help. They will most likely try to push the limits before asking for assistance. Thankfully, AQ, just like all other forms of quotients, can be gradually improved upon. So, 6 ways that you can develop your adversity quotient. These are the following ways to develop your AQ. Study, practice Stoicism. Stoicism is a philosophy that regained traction in recent times thanks to the work of authors like Ryan Holiday. The philosophy encourages an acceptance and even love of one's fate, no matter what it may be. It requires that you get objective about life rather than looking away or worse, sugar coating the brutal nature, hiding under wishful thinking. Once you accept life for what it is, you can better face it because you get prepared. Practice self accountability. Accept, take responsibility for your actions. Admit that you can be wrong sometimes. And when you make mistakes, learn from them. Be focused. We are in a social media age where people are getting more and more hooked on the internet. Social media is great, but too much of it keeps you away from reality and makes you lose sight of what is real, immediate, and important. Be courageous. Learn and rather, here it is. Learn to act despite your fear. Learn to be comfortable with uncertainties. Build your network. Build a network of friends that you can fall back on when things get rough and confusing. Don't lean on your strength alone. Reflect on the past and future. Meditate on things that you've done and how they can be done better. That they rather that way you learn from your mistakes and do better the next time. Also think about the future and all the hurdles and opportunities that it holds if you never give up and keep going, working on your quotients. Keep this in mind. In life, those who stay strong, especially when they suffer multiple setbacks within short intervals, are those who can accept that they are the masters of their fate, no matter what might or had happened. And they believe that things are bound to get better as they don't easily lose hope, even when the going gets tough. Having said that, don't make the mistake of focusing on either the IQ, EQ, or SQ alone, but realize that all quotients work together to create a well adjusted and functioning individual, an intelligent, loving, powerful, and indomitable you. It is up to you to decide what you are going to do and how you are going to learn to relate to the people around you and deal with adversity because life is always going to throw things at you, and it's up to you to decide how you will handle them.